Welcome all to our new YouTube channel. My name is Kinjal Purohit and I'm going to conduct your lecture of legal aspect of business for the student of TYBBA. This is the first part of my lecture and the topic name is Workmen's Compensation Act. So let's start with the introduction part. So first of all, the Workmen's Compensation Act came into existence in the year of 1923. It is related to the workers and the dependents in the case of injuries and accident. It includes occupational disease and it applies to railway officials, employees for factories, mines, plantation, mechanical propelled vehicles, construction work and some other dangerous occupations. So in short, whenever the workers are facing dangerous occupations and when there is chances of having the occupational disease, the Workmen Compensation Act benefits the workers. And this compensation calculated on the basis of injury, average monthly salary of the worker and age. So in this act, we will have to learn how the average monthly salary will be calculated, what are the different kind of injuries and how they are calculate the compensation on the basis of age. And this act is extended to whole over India. And this act came into force from 1st July 1924. So there are lots of terms in this act that we will have to understand before go in deep in this act. First of all, we will have to understand the definitions of that. So let's see. First definition over here is compensation. So it is nothing but paid by employer to its worker in the event of accident as a measure of relief and social security. So whenever any worker made any kind of injuries or accident, or whenever the lives become troublesome due to this kind of accident, the company or the employer will provide some kind of money or in the way of compensation. Second term is commissioner. So who is commissioner according to section 2(1)(b)? According to this section, commissioner means the person who work or guide for the workmen's compensation named in the section 20. According to section 20, the commissioner will be helpful to the person or the worker for their compensation. Third one is dependent. According to section 2(1)(d), there are three categories. First is a widow, a minor legitimate or adopted child. So any of this person will be known as dependent. That will benefited out of any kind of injuries or accident occurred to the workers. Second one is a legitimate or adopted single daughter or a widow mother daughter who is physically or mentally weak. This is also called dependent person. Third one is a widower, a parent other than widowed mother, a widowed daughter-in-law, etc. are the relationship which can be known as dependent. So dependent means, in short, the person who are totally dependent upon the wages as well as the salaries of the workers who are working in the factories or mines or any dangerous places and who had met any kind of accident and injuries. Afterwards, that type of compensation which are provided to the deceased person will be given to this kind of dependent person. Next definition is employer. According to Article 2(1)(e), with respect to this act, employer includes the various persons included below. First is any group of people, whether incorporated or not. Second one is any agent or administration of an employer. And third one is the legal representative of deceased employer. So any one of this can be known as employer according to this act. Next definition is disablement. So what is disablement? It means loss of ability to work or move. It can be partial or total and may also permanent or temporary. So disabled means it may be partial or total, or it may be permanent or temporary. It will be described in the next slides. So first of all, partial disablement means what? So it is that reduce a worker's earning capacity as a result of accident. It can be temporary or permanent. Permanent partial disability. Any incapacity that reduces the earning capacity of a worker in any job in which he was engaged at the time of accident that resulted in that disability. For example, amputation through joint shoulders, loss of 4 fingers of one hand, amputation at hip, etc. Amputation means to separate any part of body from by the accident or the injury occurred when the worker are working in the factory place. Then permanent total disability. Any disability that reduces the earning capacity of worker in each job he was able to undertake at the time of the injury. Means that person was able to do any type of work before that type of injury, but after the accident he is now not able to do any type of work which he was able to do before the time of injury. For example, loss of both hands, loss of hand and a foot, absolute deafness, very severe facial disfigurement, loss of sight, etc. Permanent total disability create a huge type of loss for the people. Then after next definition is total disablement. According to section 211, it means such incapacity, whether temporary or permanent, as it incapacitate a worker for all work that he was able to perform at the time of accident that resulted in said inability. Next definition is related to wages. According to section 21M, wages include any privileges or benefit that can be estimated in money other than a travel allowances or a value of any travel concession. Second one is a contribution paid by employer of a worker to any pension or welfare fund. Third one is a sum paid to a worker. So according to this act, compensation will be based on the wages too. So over here we will have to count all the benefits are given to the workers. It will include all the monetary benefit as well as allowances given to the workers, on the basis of which the compensation will be calculated. Then after next definition is workman. According to section 21N, workman means any person who, first, a railway servant as defined in Railways Act 1989. Second, a master seaman or other members of a crew of a ship. Third, a captain or other members of the crew of an aircraft. Fourth one is a person recruited as driver, helper, mechanic, cleaner or any other capacity in connection with a motor vehicle. Fifth one, a person recruits for work abroad by a company. So when we talk about workmen, This all person will be included according to this act. Next definition is related to contract of employment. According to this act, contract between employer and worker, there must be three things established that are: first, an employment contract, whether it's implied or expressed between employer and workman. If a person voluntarily assists another man, he is not a worker. Similarly, an independent contractor is also not a worker. Means over here, there should be a contract between employer and employees, right? And if any person who voluntarily has to assist any type of work within the factory will be not known as a worker. And similarly, if any contractor are working to just help to any other factory, is not known as the worker, or they are not will be under the contract of employment. Second one is teacher servant relationship. So over here, the contract between the employer and employee will be work as a teacher servant relationship. Third one is employment is for purpose of the trade or business of employer. So in any factories, there will be no any kind of personal benefit will be included rather than the trade or business transaction. The contractor will not able to perform or will not able to give any type of tasks which are of their personal benefit. So this is the end of this section. We will meet in next session. If you like my lecture, then please subscribe our channel. Thank you so much for listening.